you want to drive around the track. Obviously, you want to do several laps before you even start tuning anything. You want to make sure, or adjusting anything. You want to do a couple laps around the track, which I didn't do. Heat the tires up, get them nice and toasty. Which I'm not going to do laps and laps, until about you guys watch me, do laps and laps to heat my tires up. But once you get your tires nice and warm, like I would say, good 3 to 4 laps on the track. That'll warm them up real good. And after you do that, now you want to go to your heat, and you want to look at how the heat is being distributed over all 3 sections of each tire. Now this is where it can be tricky. Usually if it's a track dominated by a lot of right turns, which majority of these tracks are, your left side is going to be the side that you want to look at. You kind of want to disregard the right side of your tires. I usually just look to the left side of my front and rear tires. And you want to do is, you see it's reading, they're almost identical from my outer to middle to inner for my fronts, and my rears, it's more there's a gap between it, between the temperatures. And stop right here real quick. But pretty much, for your initial camber, if your inside edge is pretty much cooler than the outside, obviously you want to increase the negative camber, move the slider to the left. If the inside edge of the tire is, greater than 10 degrees, like hotter than the outside, then you kind of want to increase the, more towards the positive camber, move the slider to the right. You may not go actually positive, but you just want to move the slider to the right a little bit. And, constantly, test it, see, adjust, make sure you get everything, right. And pretty much once you reach the, an ideal temp or whatever, it's when like the inside edge of the tire is like between 6 and 10 degrees hotter than the outside edge. Once you reach that, it's between 6 and 10 degrees hotter than the outside, you're good. You can still go in and tweak things. I like to have my rear tires more like like between 2 and 5 degrees. My inside hotter than the outside, between 2 and 5 degrees just for my rears. My fronts more like between 6 and 10. But my rears, I wanted to be closer. The readings from my outer to middle to inside. Now, once you done all that, like I said, you're gonna be doing laps. You're gonna be adjusting. You're gonna be watching your temps and seeing how everything's done. It may take some time for you to get a good reading for your temps and everything like that. But once you do, you'll be satisfied. And once you do these things, you'll see changes in the vehicles, and you see how it's starting to handle, hopefully better, and not messing up in any way, shape, or form. Now we're going to go to the tire pressure, the initial tire pressure. And what you want to do, pretty much, see, that's where you got that. You go when you're looking at the heat or whatever. This is where it's good. Like the middle, you want the middle of the tread. Well, you don't want the middle of your tread. Like if the middle of your tread is like hotter than the outside, and or the inside, you might want to decrease your tire pressure, because that's not good. That's not good at all. If the middle pretty much is colder than the outside or the inside, you want to increase your tire pressure. And pretty much, you want the middle of your tire to be, the temperature to be in the middle of the outer and inside of your tire. And once you get that, you're set. You're good. I mean, there's nothing else you need to do with that. I mean, I will say that, personally, you want to adjust your tire pressure. You want to keep that in mind, but you also want to lower, once you hit that mark, your tires are between, your middle of your tire is, the temperature is in between the outer and the inside of your tires. But it's your PSI, like go over to your tire miscellaneous stuff, and you're doing a couple laps and everything like that, and your PSI, if it's like over 30, I would say over 33, like 33 and a half, maybe 34 pounds PSI, whatever, pound square inch. You wanna keep lowering your tire pressure until, well, after you're doing a couple of laps, your tire pressure, sticks around 32 degrees. Whoa, that wasn't 32 degrees, 32 PSI. I'm coughing in this mic, guys. Like I said, I'm so sorry. But yeah, you want 32 is like the ideal temp for you want your tires to be. I mean, that's how I usually run, and it's been great for me, and I love it. So now we're gonna go to the acceleration for your pretty much your differential. We're gonna deal with your differential right now. Now with the differential, pretty much, it's the final thing. I mean, after you found your differential, you don't really need to mess around with it. I mean, you may go back to tweak some things, but you don't really need to mess with it after you mess with it now or here. Ah, that's good. But so you want to, like, pretty much you're gonna, like, your tires are nice and warm, nice and toasty and everything like that. And you want to observe how the car behaves, at the point in certain corners when you apply the throttle. Pretty much you're traveling, you pretty much exiting the corner. You want to see how the car behaves. Pretty much, and pretty much if any behavior prior to the point where you pick up the throttle, and it's not due to, it may not be due to the differential. It may be due to something else. I don't know if you guys understood that, but pretty much, like, if you're exiting the corner and the car, yeah, it's pretty much exiting the corner, really. Yeah, you're exiting the corner and you're going down the straight, obviously. If the car starts to oversteer when the throttle is applied, you want to decrease your acceleration lock. You want to slide the slider to the left. And if the car starts to understeer too much, like pretty much oversteer. If you don't know, oversteer is pretty much when the back end of your car wants to, you pretty much want to spin out. That's what oversteering is, pretty much. So if you're coming out, if you're exiting the corner and you're spinning out at that corner, and you have to let off the gas, to prevent you from spinning out, you want to decrease your acceleration lock. Now, if you're understeering and you're just like, you're applying the throttle when you're coming out of the corner and you're just like going towards like the wall or whatever, it's like the wall is pulling you towards your car is being pulled towards the wall or whatever. That's when you want to increase your acceleration lock. Move the slider to the right. So you want to do that until the car is like very stable. Not I won't say very stable, but stable enough under acceleration when the full throttle is being applied, that you reached your goal. Now that's good. That's for your acceleration. Now when it comes to your deceleration, this is like when you're coming into the corner, and you're pretty much, you're not on the brakes. You take your foot off the accelerator, you take your foot or your fingers off the brakes or whatever, and you're coming into the corner. And if the car is like seems sluggish, like turning into the corner when the throttle is off, you're off the throttle, you want to decrease the deceleration lock. Now, if the car starts to like oversteer, which is just crazy. If your car starts to oversteer, like when you're trying to turn in off the throttle, like you're turning into the corner and you're off the throttle and you're not on the brakes, and the car just wants to oversteer, you want to increase the deceleration lock. Move the slider to the right. So pretty much once you bounce it out and the car is stable, when you lift off the throttle, turning into a corner, you reach the ideal goal. I'm like saying all this stuff, and scrolling through all all my specs, which really, whatever. But now we're gonna go to the spring rate. The three things you wanna think about, when you're dealing with the springs. You wanna deal with, wheel spin, basic grip and car balance.